One person, no technical degree, ran Anthropic's entire growth marketing operations by themselves for 10 months. What does that tell us about what we can do in the age of AI as business owners? Typically, a software as a service startup, like when I worked at Zoom, we would have a marketing team of hundreds of people working to do growth marketing, which is basically just marketing, right? It's a new term for marketing, growing the user base. Now, Anthropic's been helped by the fact that they have a huge amount of demand for all their services, but one person doing the entire marketing function, that's never happened before. I read this in the Innermost Loop. AWG, Alex Wisner-Gross, his PhD, he writes all about developments in AI. And they're super technical, so my aim on this podcast is to make it easy for you to bring it back to real business language. So if you're a CEO, a founder, or an operator of a business trying to turn AI into real business value, you're in the right place. This is the AI Operator Podcast. This is a show for people who are done with all the hype and the demos and the AI content that sounds really clever but changes nothing. Every episode here is about practical workflows, real use cases, and how to use AI to save time, improve output, and drive real ROIs inside your business. So there's some geekery, I love it, but there's more execution. That's what this is all about. So let's get into it. So the Innermost Loop jumped in here and I had a look at AWG's newsletter from March 10th. It's not a feature story about Anthropic, it's a proof of concept. So that one skilled operator armed with AI can run what used to be an entire team's job. So for companies with 50 to 1,000 employees, which is who you are if you're watching this podcast, this is going to change how you staff, how you hire, and how you budget for marketing and all operations. Or what is it? What is this development? Well, Claude Code is Anthropic's AI coding and task agent. If you look back at the past episodes, I've done some episodes on how Claude Code works and how you can use it. As you know, it's the coding and task agent, but the story here is more about the outcome, not about the tool. It's not about Claude Code itself. It's about what one person can do. This is a non-technical employee, supervised the campaign execution and analytics tooling and automation workflows and all the growth infrastructure for the world's leading AI. I mean, arguably Anthropic is the leading AI company. And they did it for nearly a year alone. So what does this mean for us? It means we've gone from the world of you need a technical co-founder to build anything. That era is over. I was looking at doing a software startup about 12 months ago, and I got told I needed a technical co-founder. I don't think you need a technical co-founder anymore. When I first joined a software startup, Addy Insights, sold to Oracle in 2022, we had a whole bunch of developers on the ground doing coding. They're still necessary, but one person can do the job of 5 now. So potentially if you were going to do a software startup now, you only need 1 coder or 2 coders. So the big thing that's changed is, and that what we're trying to get to in this podcast, is introducing the AI operating model. So it's 1 or 2 or 3, however many you need, skilled generalists, and they use AI agents, HR person who uses a bunch of agents to do different concepts, right? They might look at resumes, they might post job ads, they might write job ads, they might conduct initial screening interviews, and each one of these would be an agent. So that's something to think about when you're implementing. By 2028, 33% of enterprise software applications will include agentic AI. Okay, that's massive. That's huge. So when you buy a piece of software off the shelf now, you're getting agentic AI included. So as business owners, we're not going to have to build our own agents. We can have task specialists in our organization build agents for specific use cases, but a lot of the use cases, they're going to come bundled with the software, which is replacing the people who were previously using the software. That's exciting. So for businesses the size of ours, 50 to 1,000 employees, the implication's pretty clear. We're now overstaffed in execution and understaffed in operator roles. So the goal of this podcast, AI Operator, is to turn you into an AI operator and help you hire AI operators, because they're the people who will become the most valuable employees in the next 24 months. It's that skill of orchestration, which is why I'm building an online course to teach you how to be an AI orchestrator and teach you how to manage people who use AI. So the question every CEO should be sitting with after this episode is who in my company is an AI operator and who is not. That's a key question. Let's talk about the impact of this. So if we have one person running a department, a series of agents who are doing the desktop work, that white collar work, then in marketing, that means one AI-enabled operator can cover what used to be the job of content writer, SEO manager, paid ads manager, email marketer, and an analytics lead. 5 jobs collapsing into one. That's pretty exciting. Let's apply it to ops. Back office operations, I mean, that's a paperwork job now. It's repetitive. We're just doing the same thing over and over. So reporting, scheduling reports, we can do it with Claude Code. Coordinate with vendors, arguably we can now do that. Interestingly, on the procurement side, your vendors are going to have an agent and you as a customer is going to have an agent and your agents will talk to each other. Humans become the exception handlers. So that's a pretty big change. That's something we want to be thinking about as business leaders. So things like computer and math, architecture and engineering, life and social sciences, legal. If I was a lawyer, I'd be pretty worried or excited. If I ran a law firm, I can get senior partners to orchestrate AI agents and 10x their output. That's pretty exciting. Office and admin is the big threat. If you're watching this podcast and you're in office and admin, become an AI orchestrator. Marketing, operations, finance. We probably need to revise our cost projections for growth. If we're going to scale, we don't need as many people to do these functions. What about, we already talked about HR, what about product development? So a non-technical founder and operator can build and iterate and ship product features without a full engineering dependency. Minimum viable team just got smaller. So I've been building a personal organization app based on Tony Robbins' RPM system, rapid planning method. I've just been building it for my own use, but I'm thinking about productizing it because it's been so easy to build. I just tell Claude Code what to do. In fact, that'll be the next episode where I'll show you what that's all about. I think that's pretty powerful, show you what you can do with Claude Code and what I was able to do as a non-technical founder. Right? I did a business degree. I've got no background in computer science. I can use the terminal, but I use ChatGPT to tell me what to type into the terminal. And if something goes wrong, I copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, hey, Chat, what did I do wrong here? And it tells me. Totally non-technical, right? But I can do some pretty cool stuff. I'd love to show you that. Okay, so let's talk about implementation. The first experiment that it would be worth running is to pick one function that's currently staffed by 2, 3, 4 people and interview them. Have your most curious generalist spend 2 weeks attempting to run it by themselves using a combination of Claude and Zapier. Claude, now what you'll need to insulate them from is the organizational immune system. What does that mean? That is the people in the organization who are resistant to change. They're going to try and shoot down and kill this project. So separate office, separate floor, separate building, set them up in a co-working space, separate them from the organization, have them take a couple of weeks and automate what they can using Claude and just get them to research best practices, get them to run as much as they can on the AI automation tools that you've got available. Give them a small budget, a couple of $100 a month, right? $1,000 a month for AI tools and let them roll. You'll be shocked if you pick the right person at the results. They will more than likely automate most of their role and most of their co-workers' roles. Run like a Skunkworks project for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and just get them to document what they're doing and document what's breaking and what's working and what we can do better with it. The tools that you need for that, we talked about Claude, that would be a good one. Talked about ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is very good at writing prompts for Claude. That's actually the best practice now, is to have an AI. You type a paragraph of what you think you want to do and tell it to improve this prompt, and it rewrites the prompt for you. Who owns it? That's a good point. Your highest judgment generalist, right? Not your most technical person, because they don't need to be technical. They just need to understand business. And the role that we're designing for here requires taste, judgment, and problem framing. They don't need to be technical. They don't need to be an engineer. In fact, it would be remiss of us to appoint an engineer to this role because they're going to get deep into the code and deep into the processes. And just a business person, a generalist, is going to be the best type of person for that. Okay, look for a measurable outcome in 4 to 6 weeks. You want something measurable to come out of it, and that the incentive needs to be making a measurable impact. So look, if you were going to do this and we were to talk about an expected ROI, I would be thinking about a 40 to 60% reduction in person hours worked on a particular function. That would be, to me as a business owner, that would be a very powerful number, to look at a 40 to 60% reduction in the number of hours required for a set of tasks. That's huge. If we could save 40 person hours per week, multiply that by the average salary of your company, hell, let's do it. So 40 hours a week. So if we can save 40 person hours, $36 an hour, that's $1,500 in savings per week. Multiply that by 4, that's nearly $6,000 a month that we can save just by implementing this. If you can build 2 workflows that save 40 person hours per week, you're saving $6,000 a month, you're saving $75,000 a year. That to me is probably worth the investment of one person's time for 4 weeks. The numbers are pretty powerful. So the playbook to implement it, I've got a 5-step playbook to implement it. Here it goes. Identify one business function that requires 2+ people. That's your pilot zone. Select your operator candidate, the most adaptable generalist on your team, not the most senior, and probably someone who's younger. Brief them on the goal, run this function with AI assistants and document everything that works, everything that doesn't work. Set them up with some AI tools, Claude, Zapier, Make, N8N, whatever they choose to use. Give them a small budget. There's no custom development required. It's just using off-the-shelf tools. Run the pilot for 30 days. So check in with them weekly, figure out what they can do in terms of output volume, quality, the amount of time that they spend, and what tasks still require human judgment. Because there's stuff that AI is really good at, and there's stuff that AI is not good at yet. And for your specific industry, for your specific use case, you need to figure out what those tasks are. So you'll go automation, 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 human in the loop. Automation, automation, human in the loop. Right? That's how the tasks, how the workflows look. If you have a real business problem that you want me to break down on the podcast live with people and you're happy to share it, reach out to can you implement this and delegate higher level tasks to those people you've already got and just do more output, right? We don't have to fire people necessarily. We can 10x their output. That's what this announcement means. With one person, no technical degree, you can run an entire stack, an entire function in a business with one person. So implement this with a small Skunkworks pilot project and let me know how you go. If you've got questions, reach out to me on X at Michael Pullman. Send an email, podcast@oneaipod.com. And as you can see, I'm working on the infrastructure for the podcast. It's still a little echoey. I've got carpet coming into this studio next week, acoustic carpet. On Friday, the wall's going to be painted behind me. I've got a podcast intro coming. I'm working on it. I'm building it as we go, but I just needed to get this out to you because it is so important for us as business owners to have this conversation about how AI is changing things right now. And not the technical jargon and the frontier model of 3.6 has been released. It's how to actually do stuff now in this new economy and what we should implement. So if you're a CEO or you're an operator trying to turn AI into operational leverage, like real business outcomes, and not just like productivity tips, but making structural changes to how your company works, like I'm doing, I'm building a course that's going to walk you through exactly how to implement these systems and how to put them in place. The promise of my 2 courses, one is going to help you get to grips with AI, put you in a community of people all learning AI together, people who have businesses from between 50 employees and 1,000 employees. That's who I want to help. And then number 2, the flagship course, that's going to help you implement 2 AI workflows, specifically all the training, everything you need. So jump onto oneaipod.com and join the waiting list for those 2 courses. I'm Michael Pullman. This has been the AI Operator. Thanks. I'll see you next time.